What's up everybody, it's Critical. For a long time I've been confused on how to properly masturbate until I came across this video. This pasture demonstrates the correct way of jerking off and the only way that's approved by God. So let's go ahead and watch this together so that way you too can learn the right techniques. I should mention before we begin that he will be using an arrow to substitute for his penis. He doesn't actually whip his cock out for this. However, you can see him after the service for a more hands-on demonstration. I like the way he looks in this right here. He looks like a fucking caveman that first discovered fire and he's trying to show his friends, but none of them believe him. I don't understand why he has a bow and arrow at church. I guess that's just standard procedure for some places, but let's just get right into this shit.
Of course it hurts. Of course it's fire. Of course it's pain. Of course it's that's hot. God, just shut up. I can handle it. I know what I'm doing. Oh, God, that hurts. Oh, God, I'm so tired. Oh, God, I didn't want to lose her. Oh, God, I didn't want to have that pain. Oh, God, no.
Look familiar? It certainly does to Mark Cuban in the back left over there. He's paying real close attention to this like he's about to perform fucking open heart surgery, analyzing every detail here, every stroke. He's really taking it all in. Now what this fine gentleman has just shown us is the standard protocol for meat beating. He's really illustrated it beautifully here and really captured the essence of choking the chicken. It's as if we're actually watching him masturbate here. From the wounded dog sounding shit to the come down. It's amazing what he's done here.
God, you love me so much, don't you? Yes. Oh, God, thank you for what you're making me. You're welcome. Oh, God. I see an opportunity. Yeah, so do I. Oh, God, I see a beautiful wife.
Now this is how you're supposed to do it, nice and slow, make it real and intimate. It's supposed to be a personal experience between you and God, so make it that way, you fucking troglodytes. Don't make it some quick, spit and shit, strum and cum routine. Treat your dick like it's the last Cheeto Puff on earth and you're starving. You just gonna scarf down that Cheeto Puff right then and there? No. You're gonna savor it. You're gonna take your time with it. Your dick should be treated no differently.
Yeah? I never dreamed of her! A lot of things you never dreamed of, son. Lots of things you never dreamed of. Oh, you think I can marry her? She's very, very polished. You better get her more polished, son. Hey, God! The little children, I hold my arms. Oh, it's sweetest thing in the whole world. Oh, I'm so honored to be their daddy. Yeah. Now you remember who owns them.
This reminds me of a really old Whitest Kids You Know sketch, The Slow Jerker. It was about how uncomfortable it is to do fake masturbation slowly. It's comical when you do it fast, but when you do it slow, it just makes everyone uncomfortable. But I do respect this man's bravery to go up here and do it nice and slow. The way he does it in his bedroom is the way he's doing it right here and right now. I also really agree with the message he's sending here. The only time you can really talk to God is when you're playing with your wiener. It's the only way. It's like your penis is a walkie-talkie right to God's frequency, and the only way to keep holding down the button is to be playing with your cock. It's the only way. And I've always known that. That's why when I masturbate, I like to talk to God too. I even have a pre-masturbation grace I like to say as if it's Thanksgiving, and it goes, "Dear Lord, dear God, with one hand on my rod, with this porn on my screen, my dick soon spit cream. It's the duty of my wiener. I'll be baptized in these titties and I'll come out cleaner. Amen."
Make sure they serve me. That's why I gave them to you, son. Oh, God. I see a pulpit. God says, Not done working on you, son. You think I stand here before you tonight sorry that I yielded to God?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I have no idea what he was talking about during that. I could hardly hear him. He was just getting way too into the zone and whispering, but at least he brought the attention back to the audience and is now pointing at them. This is your fault. You touch your penises, so now I have to come up here and show you how it's done. The right way to do it. This is all on you. You brought this upon yourself. You heathens.
You think I stand here tonight with these, my trusted men, sorry that I yielded. You think I'm regretting that I yielded to God? You think I'm sorry when I see this crowd here tonight? No. Oh, God, keep polishing. Keep polishing, keep polishing, keep polishing.
And that concludes tonight's service. Make sure you put some bills into the pass-around tray thing. And thank you all for attending. I hope you've all learned something here today. Yeah, that's it. See ya. Good luck sleeping tonight with this villain I'm about to put on your radar. You will be trying to snooze with one eye open and one eye on your phone, looking for any Ring doorbell alerts. Because there's a menace on the loose. There's a maniac afoot. And SpongeBob isn't here to catch him yet. We're talking about the Porch Pooper. An elusive, nefarious scoundrel that's leaving undesired presence on the front door of one man in particular at the moment. But this could be just the beginning of a crime spree.
You've probably heard of porch pirates, but what about porch poopers? Don't know any other way to say it.
I can think of like 100 other ways to say it. Why didn't you just ask me? But I will say, Porch Pooper, I think, is very solid. That's a great alliteration that just flows off the tongue. But I've got some cool names for this cryptid. Feel free to use them. The Patio Shadio, Spready Fazbear, Poop Shitman. I'm partial to Poop Shitman myself. It sounds like the name of a Kojima character, like Die Hard Man.
Right now, LMPD is looking for a man who has been using the bathroom on Louisville homeowner's porch all week long. Ward Jollish tracked down the homeowner and spoke with him about being targeted by a porch pooper.
That's the last kind of person you want to be targeted by. That's like being hunted down by Jason Bourne right there. A porch pooper has set his sights on this one homeowner in particular for no reason that they can figure out yet. It seems like random act of shit.
Listen, a warning. While we won't show you everything, okay? We won't show you everything. Some may be grossed out by this video.
When I first watched this, I actually thought this was about to be some kind of like sly plug for their Patreon or something, or like exclusive membership content on their YouTube channel. Look, we're not going to show you everything here, but sub to the Patreon or join on YouTube and you get the full ass blasto experience here, poop and all. More butt cheek and more feces than you can handle. Enjoy to your heart's content. But it's just her letting viewers know, like, hey, there's a dude fucking squatty pottying on this guy's front door, and even though we censored it, it's still kind of yucky.
It all started with this. Sunday night, a young man in a red shirt walks up to one Louisville home well after midnight and begins peering inside. The homeowners have no clue. After a few seconds, the man runs away in his socks and disappears into the night. But the next night, he returns and leaves a horrific surprise.
There's a lot to unpack here. If you ask me, it doesn't seem like he's in his right mind. He's got to be under the influence of something, it looks like. Because he's approaching the door and he starts doing this with his hands like he's fucking putting binoculars on to see inside of it, about to use x-ray vision or something. I know it's an effective strategy when you actually get to the door so you can see in a little bit better and focus, but he was doing it like from way too far away for that to be useful at all. And of course you have to be off your goddamn gourd to take a shit on a stranger's doorstep. But what's even weirder about this is that it was a premeditated shitting. It wasn't like some kind of impulse thing where he just had the bubble guts and just couldn't hold it in anymore, the dam broke. He went to the house one night, cased the joint basically, scoping out the scenery, making sure it's like the optimal place to take a shit. Came back the following night after cooking it up, like charging his alt for 24 hours, and then released the payload. Like, he just took the dump the following night. So this was something that he had planned out from the sound of it. And looking at the footage, he was wearing the same outfit. At least if this footage is the proper timeline where he went to the house first just looking at everything, and then came back the next night taking the shit, he's wearing the exact same clothes, so he didn't even like bathe or change in that time.
Tuesday morning, I went out to my front porch and noticed this, what I thought was a cat poop.
The homeowner, who wishes to remain anonymous but who we'll refer to as Jim, then checked his doorbell camera and realized it was no cat at all.
And it turned out to be a person. And not only did he defecate, but he also urinated on our welcome mat.
This seems personal, but the homeowner Jim has no idea who this guy is or why he would do this in the first place. And to make matters even worse, I'm pretty sure I have that exact same pair of pants that the porch pooper is wearing. So I may have been burgled by this gentleman. Maybe he broke into my house in the middle of the night, stole my pants, and left a fucking surprise somewhere that I haven't found yet. And now he's wearing my pants while shitting around the town.
What's even more disturbing is that the man returned a third time the very next night. Jim got an alert on his phone and tried to confront him, but the man was already gone.
You have no idea who this guy is or why he's doing this?
I have no idea. We're good neighbors. We, keep to ourselves. We behave ourselves. And
he was visited 3 times, like the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. But the only gift he was given was the gift of a fucking colon cleansing on his front porch. And in all 3 instances captured on the doorbell camera, he's wearing the same clothes. This guy didn't bathe or change over the course of 3 different public shitting incidents. His hygiene stinks. This guy fucking super sucks. I imagine him going around town, he has like this cartoonish stink cloud that follows him around. He is probably unbearable to be near. Holy shit.
Jim has now filed 3 police reports for each night his home has been targeted, but so far, no arrest. Just a big mess he's now forced to clean up.
I'm relieved that he's not violent or he's not trying to force entry. He's just doing his deed. But it's very disconcerting and disturbing.
In Louisville, Warjalis, Wave News.
Now, I did wonder if the news broadcast had just repeated footage here when they did the side-by-side, because it looks so similar. He goes to pretty much the exact same spot, like down to the millimeter, and he spends about the exact same amount of time shitting, which I find to just be highly unlikely, unless this guy is some kind of anus specialist, the butt whisperer, and he's trained his ass to be extremely strict with how long shitting takes. Then it just seems weird that it's pretty much the exact same across all 3 instances. But it is very possible because when to debunk myself, when he stands up in some of the shitting there, he reacts differently. So like in one of them, he looks at the door, and the other one, he doesn't and just immediately looks to the left and goes away. So it probably is separate instances. I just still find it shocking how consistent he was with it. Same position, same location, same duration, and same clothing. It's like when he's not shitting on this guy's front porch, he just enters stasis and then comes back the next night in the exact same outfit and everything. It's just so peculiar. So yeah, hopefully they catch the porch pooper sooner rather than later. I'd hate to see more homes ruined by such foul fecal matter being spread haphazardly like this in locations where it shouldn't be. So yeah, hopefully Jim no longer has to deal with this porch pooper, and I just wanted to make you all aware of this so you can take precautions. If you hear a rumbling of a tummy in the middle of the night, sprint to your front door ASAP, because you might be able to catch the porch pooper. Yeah, so that's about it. See ya. Caleb sent me this and said it was like really hard to watch, and I didn't expect it to actually be hard to watch, but it is. This is a family vlog channel that did the standard YouTuber thing where it's we broke up, but this one did it in such an uncomfortable way because it's very clear that this was a one-sided breakup. The wife broke up with the husband, and she, to his face throughout this video, just keeps saying why she was right to break up with him. I only watched about 1.5 minutes. Well, it was more like 2.5 minutes. And she's like, yeah, when I thought about you with other women, I just got so happy that you just wouldn't be with me anymore. Like, right to his face as he's still about to cry. So I figured we could at least watch this together and see kind of what it's all about.
Are you gonna cry?
No.
I might. I'm just kidding.
Thanks to the Prime Zeppelin.
All right. And then personal things, family things, and obviously what we are telling you now.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
This is another thing about family vlog channels. They share fucking everything. There are no secrets between them and me. Like I said, I watched about 2.5 minutes and I felt like I was getting broken up with. I was getting emotional. I've never even heard of this channel before. They just share the most personal shit of all time. It's wild to me that they, like, anyone would think it's a good idea.
It's just hard to know in that situation from a content point of view.
And everything's content, baby.
So
We
we
break
made the
up for
decision
content,
just to kind
goddammit.
We were going through a lot of emotions and a lot of sad, at least I was going through a lot of sad emotions, so
He just keeps saying, like, I was
He
sad,
was vlogging
and
I
she is
wasn't
never
at
sad
that
about
time,
it.
though.
I was still in the denial phase, like, no, this can't be happening.
Yeah.
Can't be happening, but sadly it is, and it happened. you
This
guys.
is so
I'm laughing, it's
uncomfortable.
awkward, and
It's
we're here. Yeah, and we're here.
Why
so,
do it?
Like, but I'm better now. So, yeah.
It feels like she intimidated him into making this video.
so
Does it make you feel better to say it like that? Do you feel better because it's not you?
Oh, yeah, because I tried my ass off to make it work in the end, and
But that's
You
the
know,
thing, guys.
yeah.
If you're listening,
wasn't good
in
enough.
the end doesn't always
You blew
work
it.
anymore. And
Could they be faking it?
got
I don't
to a
know. We'll
point
see.
In my mind, where I felt like, are we just best friends? Like, I feel like that's what we are. Is there more to it than that? You know?
We're watching
And
a couple
there
break
has
up,
been more to
goddammit.
it than that. Crazy and dramatic. Nobody like cheated. Nobody like.
This is about where I stopped.
feelings were hurt, though. You did some things that hurt my feelings, but I found out later on.
Can you please clarify that I wasn't cheating? 'Cause
Yeah, you weren't
need to,
cheating.
like,
You
people
weren't
will
cheating.
dig into
You
that.
did a lot of things that bothered me. I wouldn't consider them full-blown cheating, but it was definitely
Close.
lines
Oscar,
that
I'm
we
not
shouldn't have
keeping
crossed.
that.
Alright, fine. What about that situation bothers you?
It's
Yeah.
not that situation. I just feel like
Yeah, that sounds like cheating to me, Oscar.
Like specific things. Like, do we want to talk about when I had mental
It was only
health
oral.
issues, you were not there for me,
And it's
we
my
have to,
fault.
like, dig into all of that.
I wasn't a good
Yeah,
enough
And I
husband.
do think something like this, it's sad that it took this.
It takes two in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oscar wasn't pulling
is
his weight.
Like, yes, there are things he has done to hurt me or made us drift apart or like all the things, right?
Yeah.
But
It's all his
so
fault.
have I. Thinking of Oscar being happy with somebody else,
Yep, there it
and
is.
that made me happier. That's when I knew I didn't want to be with you anymore.
Why say that to his face on camera for your audience? Like, why do that? You have sat this man down and are breaking up with him again and rubbing his nose in it like a dog who took his shit on the carpet, and you're like, hey, don't do that again. You know, like making him smell it. What is the point? You could have just said it in like a 1 minute video, like, hey, look, we broke up, it was mutual, we're fucking done, alright? The channel will go on. But instead we have a 15-minute dissertation about why she was in the right to break up with Oscar. This is where I stopped. I forgot about this part. But yeah, this is where I stopped initially. So this is going to be uncharted water for me. I'm going to go in deep. I'm going to be the couple's therapy here. I'm going to analyze everything because, god damn it, it's here for me to analyze. I want to take a peek and see what's gone wrong here.
When I think of you with somebody else and that's what I want for you, I don't think you're in love with that person.
Really?
Yeah, can you handle that? You like that,
I
Oscar?
don't know, I've never heard that side, so it's a lot to take in right now, but
Yeah, luckily we're doing it on camera.
I don't like the things that you like. I don't want the same things that you want. I'm not interested in the same things that you like.
Jesus
and
Christ.
I want you to have that with somebody. So why am I like selfishly hanging on with a million other reasons? Like, guys, there's a lot. That's like the main.
I love
point
soap
of this, is
operas
there's
now.
so many-
This is good.
So what triggered you to be so mean though this last month? Not that she was horrible. She was actually very nice to me during
Jesus
the actual
Christ.
breakup process, but there was a phase where like I was trying my
Once I had
best.
decided that I didn't want to be with Oscar,
I'm about to watch a
I couldn't
fight.
Tell him that because we were going on the. Like,
I'm watching a
trip
domestic
together.
issue.
So I instead.
You were doing a lot to push me away, not like in a.
that subconsciously, I really was like self-sabotaging.
Why would you do that?
almost,
Come
or,
on
like,
now.
Trying to get you to break up with me, so it wasn't me. I don't.
Even the cat's upset back
Like,
there. It's
I
pissing on your
wasn't
couch.
being mean like as soon as I decide something, you know that. Like I
done.
want to say it. I want to tell you. I can't just like.
This is just an argument. Yeah,
And
this is
so
they're
the second
literally
I
just
was
arguing
able to
here.
Tell you.
Yes, I did explode a few times, guys, and I've worked on it. I've actually gotten way better at it over the years.
Why? They sat here and recorded this and then edited it, and they're like, yep, this is how we announce it. This is how we do it. We go out with a bang. And for what it's worth, the vlogs have continued. He is still living at the house, and they're still making vlogs together, but they are no longer together, which makes it very uncomfortable. I tried watching the most recent one. It makes it very weird with that bit of context, because you can see the kids are pretty sad about it. So, yep, I would say, as the unqualified therapist, the outsider here, the stranger you've invited into your lives, I would say you probably should take like a month, 2 months off from vlogs, would be my prescription here. And maybe like rethink how we approach the breakup announcement in the first place. Like maybe it could have just been summed up in a tweet.
Said you're prepping for our breakup video.
Yeah, this is how we do it. I'd start fucking throwing plates and then hitting you over the
what?
head with a frying pan like it's Looney Tunes.
I thought you actually were saying that they were throwing things at each other.
No, well, they're just arguing. She brought up how angry he gets and how he throws things, but then she just keeps piling on more and more things into this lore.
Good.
So it's not really a breakup.
Owen.
This is the thing about this video that I hate is it's like you did, I did, like,
And you
right?
still chose to post it.
That's what I said.
This is what's happening. I'm sad. I know you guys are gonna be sad. I'm sorry that we
She looks
haven't made
heartbroken.
a video about it for a minute.
I don't know.
Long story short, I do feel like we're in a really good place right now. We're still.
It
trying to
looks
do this,
healthy.
like,
We're figuring it out,
we have
yeah.
a
Yeah.
whole life.
This looks pretty healthy
together
to me.
For 7 years, it takes a minute to like know.
7 years.
Extremely respectful of the breakup process. Nobody else, like I said, like she said, no one else.
I thought you said that she broke up with him.
Nothing. Currently, no one.
Yeah, she broke up with him. She said that the idea of him being with other women made her happier than being with him. So she got tired of him. She didn't like that he would get angry sometimes. So for like a year, she hasn't liked their relationship or something. But they recently just had a new baby last year. So basically, since they've had that baby, she's not like this man.
See, people, kids don't solve everything.
No, probably not. But they're good for that YouTube paycheck.
Oh, can I tell you
All right.
the funniest conversation I had with you
What?
in Florida when we were on the phone?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess whatever.
Yeah, just share
yeah.
everything.
He went to.
I want to hear it all.
Club. Can I say that?
Yeah, I don't care.
The night before, and then we were talking about it, and I was like, "Well, did you like get a lap dance or anything?" And he's like, "No, I feel too awkward." So, anyways, long story short,
I didn't go alone, by the way. I went with a group of friends.
Right.
Anyways,
where's the story?
didn't get a lap.
I'm not gonna come
now.
now.
Me just as much money as the stripper.
I
Stupid.
barely threw anything, but sure.
Tell them you barely didn't and how much it was. And you
Okay.
sound like an idiot.
Hey, I just
That's not things you just talk about in a video.
I feel like a baller.
You didn't even get a
Yeah,
lap.
he's having fun.
Okay, anyways, revert. Go back. So then
To be fair, it looks like it was
sleeping
miserable
with
going
girls
through this
and how is
breakup
he
with
gonna
her.
do that? And I was trying to give him advice on like how to sleep with girls or like know when a girl wants to. And
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my god, that is
And
so
it was-
you should
They
see-
are literally still married.
First of all, when you
Oh.
talk
I just
about
think
that.
like I don't know, guys.
Well, are they
like,
actually
just, like,
married,
need
or-
that, like,
Oh
all
yeah,
the
they
time.
are. They've been together for like 7 years now.
So they're full on divorcing. It's not just a breakup. Like they're just
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, like, they're talking about, like, still doing their taxes together, so it made me think that they were married, but they haven't said anything about, like, divorce. They just keep saying, like, a breakup.
Yeah. Thanks.
Are
to
they,
the-
like, working through it but staying married for the tax benefits? Like, is that...
I have no idea. Thanks to the resub Pylon, Blunt, and the gift sub Satan. Good to see you, Satan. The Prime Jelly resub.
Or, yeah,
Ace,
like, is it
Dan,
just,
and Chronic,
like, turning into
and
an
Jam.
open relationship? Like,
I have no idea.
What happens if I have a fifth kid though?
they have 4 kids.
That's your new person's problem, not mine. Dude.
Yeah, let's go, Oscar. We don't care.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Vlog.
We're done.
He's like, all right, I'm just gonna end it here.
Like, living in the same house with 4 kids, what could go wrong? Right?
Yeah.
He looks so stressed.
Yeah, I guess a lot of things, but
He's very unhappy. He's not having fun.
Leave your questions down below. We'll probably do a Q&A because why not?
Yes,
What?
why not? You're already being open enough as it is.
Everybody in our lives thinks
confidence, I love it. The fact that you think after everything you put me through, I would be like,
me, but you.
This is so weird. I feel so bad right now.
Besides some
Yeah.
attitude here and there.
This is.
I don't know why they would
comforting
upload
another
this.
I don't know.
oh, there it is.
This is two people that fucking hate each other, pretending they don't.
Comforting to Oscar.
Yeah.
Shut the. But guys, that was early on.
That was
Wow.
rough.
Yeah, no, that got worse and worse and worse. It was just a full blown domestic dispute that they filmed. This is what I mean. Like, people literally live through YouTubers and their lives.
Well, hey, Oscar's glow up after this is about to be iconic. At least people are on his side on it. More of like a this is.
Yeah, most people are. Well, it was pretty clear that she fucking hates Oscar.
Yeah.
He was definitely the one that was hurting the most here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she looked.
Literally, yeah. She's so happy.
She
and
looked
he's-
fucking thrilled.
and he's just like out of it the whole time. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't there.
Makes a tier 1 wolf.
He
nerd
looked
sub Momo.
miserable. Like, he didn't want to be doing that whole thing. I mean, I didn't see the beginning, but I'm sure he looked the same way.
Yeah. They didn't do a Q&A yet. I already looked earlier. Oh my god, never mind, they did. How did I miss this? I saw this one. This one was very uncomfortable. But I didn't see this. Oh my god,
It's 22 minutes.
there's still so much more to learn. I don't
You
know.
sound excited to be
Not
watching
really.
another.
I don't know. That was very uncomfortable. I just feel kind of dirty and slimy just for knowing that much about that couple for no reason. But I don't really care about that. It was just, he clearly doesn't want to.
And she's telling him how to get
You're not
girls.
supposed to be
I
making
mean,
this video so soon. I actually filmed.
Oh,
a
and one of their
vlog
kids
yesterday,
is
and I wanted
watching
to
this.
upload that first
Oh.
because there's so many questions, and we're like, all right, we need to address something.
Oh.
I think the next time that we film a video in the kitchen, it needs to be a positive video.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I kind of thought that we would.
Time to
start
watch
with, like,
mom
a
and dad
bunch of
fight on
notes
camera
my phone
again.
of, like things that I wanted to.
Oh, yeah, I
you said
stopped quiet.
nothing
And she
the
was
whole
mad.
time. Yeah, and I had to say anything because these are awkward conversations to have. You don't really know what.
You
to
don't
say.
have to have these
And you don't wanna say the wrong
conversations
thing,
on camera.
especially
You
on the
really
internet with
don't.
all the backlash. So
Yeah,
and like it's
no.
funny. We have like banter.
Yeah.
We're in a good place.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
No. Are we in a good place?
Yes.
Tell them.
I'm laughing because the nipple thing was out of habit, and I didn't squeeze. I just was like, oh wait. I
Yeah,
should
he
be
did
doing
it.
that.
He said, yeah. But like,
Thank-
we all have
thank God,
and we
Oscar.
have- this
Your
is
honor
like
is still
my notes
intact.
to you.
that kind of tends to happen.
People also don't.
I mean, that's the
when
whole
touch
point.
you.
Oh really?
It's
Why?
mixed signals.
Oh yeah. No, guys, it is done. Like.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I mean, it is, but relax.
Yeah. Well,
I hope Oscar's side hoe
what
walks
was I
in to
gonna
like
say?
help
This is
answer
why I
questions.
interrupt,
I
because
just want to know he's doing okay.
It was important. So like, that's when I started to just feel defeated. But that's
Just
not
tell
when
me
I,
why you hate
like,
him.
Decided. Oh,
That's all I
love
care
him,
about.
And I stayed with him
Stop
for a year.
cushioning
But
the
if
blow,
guys
you can
know
take
me
it.
At all. Never asked Oscar to get a vasectomy. I did not want him to get a vasectomy. I wanted more kids, and
I see why he did it now.
encouraged he didn't get the vasectomy. Oscar had to have a vasectomy. He was going to do that.
Yeah.
No. matter
Honestly,
what.
good idea, Oscar. Made the right call.
Has nothing to do with me.
yeah, that has no.
I don't want to get.
Is that what made you hate him?
about
'Cause his
having
wiener is
anything.
snipped?
It had nothing to do with having.
I feel like I'm getting
kids
to
in
the
future.
bottom of
It was
this.
more so just
I mean,
like,
his wiener's
I'm
not
weird
snipped.
about bodies.
No,
and
his
the only
wiener's
reason why I
cut in
asked
half
is 'cause we were
now.
already-
That's what a vasectomy
It was
is.
already
They
gonna be
split it in
very
half like a
C-section. I didn't want you
meat
to
Yeah.
stick.
way to get
a little while ago. We've had a lot of people say like, are you guys going to get back together in the future?
No.
Or, like,
Oscar's
how
done.
Official is this?
It's official.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oscar
you
seems so
never know
strong
what the
now.
Future brings. Like I don't want to say. Like I think it'd be.
No,
stupid
Oscar,
to
put your
say.
fucking foot down. Say no.
He did.
I'm done.
This is where things
He
get
did,
risky.
and then
I
she
do
talked
not
over
want
him.
To ever lead, then so be
Yeah,
it.
I would say the same thing. I don't want to speak for my future self, but as of right now, it's like an official
Yeah.
no. I don't.
Nice. That's all I needed to
Okay,
hear.
I
Good
also
work,
saw
Oscar.
this
You're done.
Yeah, I don't want to watch 22 fucking minutes of it. It's still so uncomfortable.
It really is.
I don't know why people post these things. That's just so much.
Well.
He got his balls snipped and she still has them in her purse.
She's probably like, here, freeze some for me.
Rough, yeah. Let me paint you a scenario here. This is kind of like a gamer's version of Rorschach's. You have $600 lying around that you're saving for a rainy day. You live paycheck to paycheck and it's emergency money for you and your fiancé. But Genshin Impact has some new gacha coming out. What do? Do you let that money sit there, idly, just waiting to be spent? Or do you take the initiative like a true level 100 raid boss and spend that $600 that you and your fiancé have been saving on that Genshin Impact drop? There's only one right answer. And unfortunately, that correct answer of spending the $600 of emergency funds on Genshin is getting this marriage in hot water. It's actively falling apart. Now, gamers are some of the most misunderstood creatures in the universe, but we're also the most advanced species, so I don't blame people for not always fully comprehending our methods. We can level up, we can emote, we can even make you come through the computer screen. Watch this. Sorry, but sometimes shit just goes cattywampus, and this is one of those stories. So, this guy's fiance, his IRL life duos partner, found out that he spent $600 on Genshin, and it's not looking good. So his fiance finds out and tries to get a hold of him. We tune in the middle of this where he's saying, "Stop calling me." She insists that they need to talk right now, but he says, You're not being fair at all. I explained my boundaries to you, but you're not respecting them. This is exactly what Redacted says is abusive about you. So she says in caps lock, you spent $600 on our credit card on a fucking game. I explained it already to you. $600 for 2 virtual characters you don't need without asking when we are paycheck to paycheck. That card was for emergencies with the Civic. And then he just drops a screenshot of one of the Genshin Impact characters that he bought. An interesting strategy. He tries to turn this around on her and begins calling her abusive here in a little bit, but he starts by saying, I told you my boundaries and you're not respecting them. But what the fuck? I told you I was going to spend all of our money on Genshin Impact. You can't be getting mad at me. You're not respecting the groundwork I've laid out here. I told you I was going to do this. What's the issue here? This is very unreasonable. You told me you wanted her too, but you aren't happy for me, LMFAO. I like how he puts like the picture of the Genshin Impact character that he bought as like a, look at this. How can you be mad when I bought this for us? I did this for us. You said you wanted it too. How can you possibly be mad? So what? I spent all of our emergency money. Look at what we got for it in Genshin Impact. You should be thanking me. I just love how he's saying that she should be happy for him. Like, oh my god, honey, I'm so proud you bought this Genshin character with all of our remaining emergency money. Oh my goodness. I've never loved you so much. Then he goes on to say, actually, I am done. I am a 29-year-old man. I am allowed to make purchases without needing your permission. That is an abusive dynamic. Explain that, or blank, explain that very well to me. Well, we're gonna jack out of the Matrix here for a moment here to digest that statement. I like how he puts his foot down. I'm a 29-year-old man. If I want to waste $600 on Genshin Impact characters with money that we have been saving for emergencies while living paycheck to paycheck, then damn it, as a man, I'm gonna do it! And he like rips his shirt like Hulk Hogan style. In his mind, I bet this went so hard. He's like, I'm putting on the big boy britches this time. No. I'm a man. I'm a man. I can buy Genshin Impact characters all day till the cows come home if I want to. I don't need your permission. I am a hunter-gatherer. I gather Genshin Impact characters. Yeah, where's my juice box? And then he has the chutzpah to say that this is an abusive dynamic from her for getting upset at him for spending all of their emergency money on Genshin Impact characters. This is like a pretty classic thing where they try and like spout therapy words at the other person to like belittle them or make it feel like it's their fault. So he's going for some big, bold strategies. Yes, I said I want Farina. I didn't say we should spend hundreds to get constellations. You are a fucking addict. You already spent all our Christmas money on it. You're snooping into your fiance's purchases. You should take a look at yourself. She flips the bird at him and says, this is a shared card that I set up for emergencies and you went behind my back. Why don't you tell Redacted about your gambling addiction to video game characters? He just says, A. That's like a classic anime, like, Actually, Redacted told me all about your coercion, and I believe you are a narcissist personality. That is why you are continuing to try and control me and control my financial decision-making. You know this is my values, and I have had Farina as my wallpaper forever. I refuse to be verbally abused for being myself. I'm battling anxiety, and you do not care at all. There's a lot that just went on here. So he tries to make her feel bad for looking into the finances, saying you should look at yourself, which is a crazy thing to say when it's a shared credit card that she set up and you went behind her back to use that money for yourself. Like, it's not like she was snooping. She set it up, and it is your joint credit card with her, so of course she's going to see it. We then get into some real pathetic stuff where he calls her a narcissist that's trying to control him and control his financial decision-making. Brother, this isn't financial decision-making, this is Neanderthal caveman gooner brain. This guy's saying that he's had Farina as his wallpaper forever, so he had to indulge in this obsession. Brother, it makes you sound like fucking Gollum with your Precious, where he's like touching his phone, like petting Farina's wallpaper. No, you don't get it. I've had this for my wallpaper forever. I had to waste our money on it. How can you be so heartless? You know I'm battling anxiety. And wasting all of our money on Farina? That helps. Farina's the only thing that can cure my anxiety. Do you want me to suffer? Is that what you want? I'm a 29-year-old masculine beast. I have to spread my wings sometime and waste all of our money on Genshin gacha. You know this. I set those boundaries, you narcissist. He just has the gall to call her verbally abusive and controlling and a narcissist. Meanwhile, this unhinged goober just wasted $600 of their emergency funds for virtual Genshin characters. It's unbelievably pitiful. And he tries to blame her for not respecting his battle with anxiety. Hey, buddy, you know what's going to make that anxiety much worse? Having $0. I think that's going to make it a lot worse. Farina's not going to come to your rescue. She's not real. Sorry to hit you with the cold water. All you're doing is digging yourself into a deeper hole, and now you're losing your fiancé over it as well because you couldn't resist the urge to waste your money with her on this game behind her back. Everything pops off here in Act 4 of this. He spirals out of control. I don't want to get married to you. I'm not talking on the phone. So now he's the one calling the marriage off. If you can't respect me wasting all of our money on Farina and Genshin Impact characters, then we're just not meant to be, you narcissist. You thought that you could control me? You can't control me. I'm like Michael Jordan in his prime. You can't control me. You can only hope to contain me, but you can't do that either because I'm hard addicted to Genshin gacha. And I will waste all of the money that I ever see in my life on it. I emailed screenshots for my appointment tomorrow. Thank you. I emailed screenshots for my appointment tomorrow. Thank you for giving me a horrible anxiety attack and ruining my night. And no, I didn't do a fucking thing with Farina yet because of your calls. That's heartbreaking. I spent all this money on Farina, and you yapping and blabbering about how bad and big of a deal it is has prevented me from spending time with Farina. You proud of yourself now? I didn't even get to use Farina yet. As he's like shedding tears, profusely crying in his bathtub. She then makes a threat that sends him off the rails. This was threatening the nuclear option. She said, I'll call Capital One and dispute the charge. Your account will be banned. I have no doubt when he read that, his heart sank. The pit in his stomach expanding to a black hole in his soul. All of the color in his world turned to gray as he was faced with the possibility of losing Farina. He said, try it. You'll lose me forever. Why? I'm going to Scottsdale for the night. Stop calling me for 12 hours and we can talk then. Good night. Will you please answer my mom? Please? So, during this, his mom, I guess, was trying to get involved. Like, how can you do this to my son? According to the fiancé here, his family started calling her abusive for this, which is crazy that even his family doesn't understand how bad it is to waste the emergency money on fucking Genshin Impact characters. So his mom, I guess, was trying to call to give her a piece of her mind, an earful on this. Like, how unreasonable can you be to my son, you abusive narcissist? And then he tries to do the old Jekyll and Hyde routine, so he comes back and says, I apologize for my reaction. As I said, my anxiety is bad today, and I have to do better. I love you. You don't need to dispute the charges. I'll get you the money soon. Redacted can spot me $600 tonight, so you can text him your Venmo. Anxiety really bad. Redacted, please. That damn anxiety using him like a goddamn fleshlight here. He treats anxiety like he's trapped in a fucking genjutsu. I love how everything about him changed once she threatened to dispute the charge and he might lose Farina. No, don't do that. Please, don't do anything drastic. We can still come back from this. Look, don't. Without Farina, I have nothing. I have nothing. So now he's getting his mom on the horn like, Mom, we have to save Farina. He's treating it like a hostage negotiation now. And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Look, don't dispute the charges. Don't dispute the charges. I'll get the $600 another way. Anything but that. Please, God, no, don't do it. My anxiety is really bad. Look, it's just bad anxiety. Anxiety is what caused all of this. Look, we don't need to do anything like this. It doesn't have to be this extreme. Anyway, though, that's the whole text journey, but the poster did give a bit of an update. The marriage is off, and he's blocked her, but is still actively playing Genshin Impact on Discord, so he's at his mom's house doing that. She did get $600 sent to her, so she was able to get that back and lock the account, which is good. And also, it's good that they, got this out of the way before they were fully married, because this would have been a disaster if this had happened during the marriage. That would have made it a lot messier. So, pretty rough situation overall, but at least it came before it was, fully, kaput in the books as a marriage. So she got to get out of it before things got too hairy. Anyway, though, what an interesting adventure. That's about it. See ya. I'm deep in the rabbit hole of unsuccessful and embarrassing flirting, And it's made me really appreciate that I grew up in a time where cell phone video was a fucking sci-fi concept. If you ever tried to take a video with your Motorola Razr back in the day, it came out looking like a picture of Sasquatch. So I got lucky that cell phone video wasn't really common back then, because if it was, I would have been in every cringe compilation for the next 15 fucking years. But I am super happy that now everyone records everything, because it's really pushed us into the golden age of cringe. Today I'd like to share with you a video that also reminds me a lot of me when I was younger, where I believed that I needed a shtick, something that makes me unique from other people to stand out in front of women. I chose the mysterious anime character, and the guy in the video you're about to watch chose the Joker. I've already told this story before, but I'll give you a brief lore recap. In my freshman year of college, I completely reinvented myself to emulate the mysterious anime characters from shows I used to watch, because they always got the big-tittied 2D waifus, so I thought if it worked for them, it'll work for me. Women must love it. They didn't. I just became the creepiest guy at my college. I refused to communicate with anyone there. Anytime someone asked me a question, I wouldn't respond. I'd just stay silent. I even remember there was one time it was raining outside after one of my classes ended, and we were all waiting under the, overhang of our classroom for it to just at least stop raining a little bit, and people with umbrellas left. I had an umbrella, but I was still waiting with everyone, and then I thought it would be a good idea to take my shirt off and walk through the rain. So I did that. I fucking ripped my shirt off like Hulk Hogan, threw it in the trash, and just walked shirtless through the rain all the way back to my dorm. Because in my head, it was a cool idea where the girls in my class would be like, wow, this is a mysterious guy. Why'd he do that? This is amazing. This is a bad boy. I gotta get to know him. That wasn't the case. That probably just came across as a fucking weirdo. Yeah, I'm getting sidetracked already. This video is bringing out the demons. What I want to show you today is a guy who tried to pretend like he has the Joker's laugh in front of his coworker, because I guess he thought it'd be a good idea.
I've been told that my laugh is very reminiscent of the Joker.
Of the Joker, yeah. I hear it, I think, yeah.
For some reason, everyone who's ever taken a single theater class in high school has all decided that they're gonna be the next Joker, so they all practice the Joker laugh a million fucking times, and we've got some classic videos from it, such as the, "I'm the Joker, baby! Ah!" And then there's that one where that dude was painting his face and doing the laugh, and then his roommate walks in concerned, damn near called the police on him. We've got some amazing videos from it, but I don't really understand why so many dudes think it's a good idea to pretend to be the Joker to get laid. It's not really effective for flirting. You just come across like a psychopath. It's not like the Joker was slaying pussy.
Are you laughing because I am?
Yeah.
The fake laugh from her here is painful, but he's doubling down. He's cackling. I have no doubt he practiced this in the mirror moments before unleashing it in the wild here. He said, "Today's the day. I'm gonna show her my Joker laugh, and then we're getting married by the end of the week." When I think of the Joker these days, I don't even think of the actual character anymore. I just think of videos like these and those goofy Facebook Joker memes from lonely dudes who are just down on their luck because the girl they like got a new boyfriend. So they post things like, "Fuck the fucking fuckers before the fucking fuckers fuck you," which is a classic. I'm pretty sure that actually comes straight from Confucius, but they slapped it on a picture of the Joker. But it really is such a shame to see what the Joker has become online. This is the legacy of the Joker now. I still think the Joker is an extremely well-written villain, but my god, it's become like a symbol of cringe on the internet because of videos like this.
Are you still on the clock?
Yeah!
Okay, go fucking work!
I need a drink, I can't breathe!
God.
I can't fucking breathe! It's like, what the fuck, why so serious? Oh my gosh.
This guy is now going to have to do this every time he laughs at work. He will never be able to just normally laugh again. He's always going to have to be in Joker mode because of this. Otherwise, she'll know it was all a ruse, an act. And he doesn't actually have a laugh reminiscent of the Joker. But anyway, I just wanted to share this video with all of you because I think it's another valuable lesson to learn that you don't need some unique shtick about yourself in order to stand out in front of girls. You know, I used to think you did, which is why I pretended to be a mysterious anime guy. You don't need some quirk like the Joker's laugh or anything. You can just be yourself without having to put on this kind of song and dance like, hey, look, I'm the fucking Joker, baby. You know, and it's probably better you don't do that. But anyway, that's about it. So yeah. Over the years, you may have noticed there's a reoccurring side character I talk about on my channel from time to time. Someone who is by all possible definitions a hero. A very, very important presence in this country. And unfortunately, the only time his name is invoked is when there are some villains looking to murder him. Literally slit his throat on the street and spill his blood to our dismay. This is a hero that every normal person should be celebrating. It's like Moomin Rider from One Punch Man. Might not be the star of the show everyone's talking about, but it's someone that everyone should support, except for the bad guys. This character's name is Section 230. I got a little lost in the sauce with this introduction here. Section 230 is an extremely important piece of legislation that's been around for coming up on 30, well actually exactly 30 years, 1996. Wow. That really put in perspective how old I'm getting, because I'm 1994. I am older than Section 230, holy shit. But point is, outside of my bones turning to dust and everything, Section 230 is still young and spry, and extremely important for the current landscape of the internet, and was a fundamental building block that allowed the internet to bloom in the first place. It's extremely simple. Even if you're hitting whippets right now, you'll still be able to comprehend what it's saying. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Now, why am I bringing this up now? Well, it's because there seems to be a pretty big push to dismantle Section 230. Actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt actually just made a pretty strong statement in condemnation of Section 230 and how things desperately need to change to save ourselves.
I understand what Section 230 did to bring about the birth of the internet. That was 30 years ago.
You know what else was 30 years ago, Joseph? Your last good movie, dweeb. So even though it was 30 years ago, it is just as important today as it was then. Now, over the years, I'm sure a lot of you have heard me yap about Section 230 a handful of times because the people in power are trying to kill this fucking thing more often than Kenny in South Park. They hate Section 230. When Democrats were in charge, it caught a lot of scrutiny, claiming that it was enabling the spread of racism and harming children. With Republicans in power, they're claiming that it's spreading misinformation and anti-Semitism. This is a bipartisan punching bag that they desperately want to just beat down. It's just been thorn in the side of people that want to control your speech pretty much since its inception. Since the advent of the internet, Section 230 has been a target for people that want to control your speech and infringe on your First Amendment rights, and dismantling Section 230 would fundamentally change the internet as you know it, and that's not an exaggeration to say it. To put it even more simply, Section 230 allows goobers like me to post whatever they want, saying whatever they want, and the platform itself is not liable for whatever I've made or said. That is on me, personally. The platform isn't going to be, fucking dragged through the streets with legs spread like a goddamn Thanksgiving turkey for it and getting blasted by lawsuits or whatever. Now, of course, there are limitations in place when it comes to illegal content, things that actually break the law. That is, of course, a very different set of circumstances. That's a different can of worms, and that's handled differently. But it should be obvious why Section 230 is so important, because if these platforms were held liable for every single thing people post on their platforms, they would get into a lot of hot water and they would just not allow people to post things. Full stop, because it would be too dangerous to do so. They would need to micromanage and control every single thing that hits the platform in order to protect themselves. No matter how you spin it, this would ruin the internet. It's a pile of dog shit. No matter how much perfume gets sprayed on it or how they want to repackage it, it still stinks. This would affect literally every platform that has anything user submitted in any capacity at all.
And I also understand how the internet has changed since then. Because back then, message boards and other websites with user-generated content, they really were more like telephone carriers. They were neutral platforms. But that's not how things work anymore. Today, the internet is dominated by a small handful of these gigantic businesses that are not at all neutral.
So nothing's changed. Brother, wake up! Stop sipping the stupid potion. These mega corporations, these platforms, they've never been neutral. Just because you want to delude yourself into fantasy land thinking that it used to be neutral just because you didn't want to pay attention doesn't mean that's the actual truth of the matter. They've never been neutral.
But instead, algorithmically amplify whatever gets the most attention and maximizes ad revenue. And we know what happens when we let these engagement optimization algorithms be the lens that we see the world through. We get a mental health crisis, especially amongst young people. We get a rise in extremism and a rise in conspiracy theories. And then, of course, we get these echo chambers. These algorithms, they amplify the demonization of the other side so badly that we can't even have a civil conversation. It seems like we can't agree on anything.
These are the same talking points I've heard for over a decade now, and I'm sure many of you are exhausted of hearing them as well. This is the textbook yap. And now I know I said Joseph was drinking the dummy potion earlier, but the truth of the matter is he's shilling. There are people that are paying a lot of money to try and plant this idea in your brain that Section 230 is a bad thing. It only leads to things like extremism and conspiracy theories and demonization and that kind of thing. That's not true. Anyone who stops and thinks about this for even just a moment, firing on a few neurons, should be able to recognize how outrageous this proposal is. How would shutting down conversation and shutting down the ability to express thoughts and opinions somehow help combat the rise of extremism and conspiracies? That would only exacerbate the problem. Censorship doesn't solve these issues. It makes them worse. This is a tool utilized by people that want to control your thoughts and also be able to feed you any narratives they want to spin. Like right now, if there is a publication that puts out just a bunch of phony baloney nonsense, tons of people can call it out. And you, as just a normal, average Joe Schmo, can see like, oh, maybe this isn't a trustworthy source. But if you take away all those other voices and you only have this heavily curated, approved source that puts this information out that is incorrect, you have no recourse, you have no way of knowing that something is wrong. It's a big problem. It makes you worse off. And this is not some far-fetched example. Platforms would not allow just completely unfiltered usage of normal people expressing their thoughts because those thoughts might go against the official narrative from the curated source. And then the curated source might go after the platform saying, this is defamatory. These people have just said something hosted on your platform and we're coming after you with lawsuits. So they just wouldn't allow it. To extend this even bigger, Netanyahu has publicly, proudly stated that one thing he believes Israel needs to focus on is controlling platforms like TikTok. He has said this because he wants to better control the narrative around Israel because, well, a lot of people aren't huge Israel fans these days, if you can believe it. So he wants to control the conversation about Israel through being able to control how it's talked about on TikTok, which obviously would mean anyone that wants to start talking about Palestine and the atrocities and the genocide in Palestine would be muzzled because, well, that would now be something that TikTok would be liable for, and they don't want to take the chance anymore. Section 230 is extremely valuable in free speech.
And yet, one of the only things that the American public seems to agree broadly on right now, left, right, and center, Republicans, Democrats, independents, we all agree that we don't trust these big tech businesses and we don't like the influence they're having on our lives and the lives of our kids. Well, if we want to do something about that, the right first step is to sunset Section 230. It's not going to solve everything, but it is the right first step.
It is indeed the right first step for these corporations and political vampires. It would create a society of thoughtless sheep that would be perpetually silenced and censored. That's what would happen with Section 230 no longer being applicable if they did just get rid of it. It's ridiculous, and of course you knew they were going to dust off the tried and true tactic of think of the children. Any time that this kind of topic is brought up, that is undoubtedly going to show up. Children being poisoned by social media. I hope you're sitting down because there's going to be a shocking statement here. There's a brave take. Be a parent. Kids shouldn't be on social media in the first place. They shouldn't have unmonitored access to the internet to begin with. Be a parent. It is not the internet's job to cater to your lack of parenting by just letting your kid online. Fucking lazy, trash-ass parents just sit a kid in front of a computer or an iPad and then are stunned when apparently they find bad shit. Be a parent. Be involved in your kid's life. Raise your children. Don't make it the internet's job to do that for you. This is something I've said for over a decade now, and it keeps coming up. It's unbelievable that some people still think that this is some kind of slam dunk and like a good justification for getting rid of Section 230. It's so concerning. And going even deeper here, they keep saying that this rolling back of liability protection for tech companies would help enforce real accountability. By the way, how about real accountability for bad parents that just let their kids online? He then pointed to the Kids Online Safety Act, KOSA, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Something needs to change. Big tech needs to be incentivized to protect kids online, and if they don't, they should be held civilly liable. Sunsetting Section 230 won't destroy the internet, and nothing we are proposing will impact our First Amendment rights, said Bridget Noring, whose son Devin died by fentanyl poisoning after connecting with a drug dealer on a photo messaging service Snapchat. What it will do is end blanket immunity without responsibility for tech companies. That is tragic, and I am very sorry to hear about the loss of her son. However, what she is saying absolutely would destroy the internet. This has been a conversation that's been had for decades. You can go and look at all of the data and why this hasn't happened before in the past, because there has been enough sense from people to shoot it down eventually, even though it does sometimes make it kind of deep through the motions. Eventually it has been getting shot down because of how important these freedoms are and how it does impact First Amendment rights in a lot of cases. Also, that statement about ending blanket immunity for these companies, that's not really going to be the end result of 230 being destroyed. And also, there's not really a blanket immunity in general for everything either, because, again, illegal content is still not allowed. Notably, on Twitter, like a month or two ago, there was a huge issue where users were using Grok to undress children in photographs. They were taking photos of children and asking Grok to take their clothes off. So they were spreading child porn throughout Twitter. That is highly illegal. That is a horrible thing. And that is something that is not protected. Now, I know I've been yapping about this for a while, and I've made quite a few videos yapping about Section 230 in general because it's something that continues to be targeted. It is something that if you don't know about it, you should know how important it is that it remain. It should not be something that is just fucking destroyed and abandoned. So don't fall for like the brainwashing here that Section 230 bad. That's just not true. Anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. Yep. This is a type of video I've never made before. I'm making this purely out of spite. I'm just a vengeful spirit right now. I had to suffer, and I feel it's only fair you suffer too. On Twitter today, a few people tagged me in 2 TikToks that were just so insultingly offensive to my eyes. I was more disturbed than a Christian youth pastor going to see the director's cut of The Human Centipede. It was so yucky that I just feel obligated to inflict this pain upon you, the viewer, and I'd like to talk about them a bit further. It's from a trend on TikTok where weird dudes try and be sexual and do like sexual shit, but it's super fucking creepy. Yeah, I mean, you know, who doesn't love a video like this? Just massaging spit into a blanket that you're pretending is a clitoris. Like, who is this for? I can't imagine there's a single sentient human being out there that's, like, excited about this or being turned on like, fuck, I'm wet now. Or, like, being cheered on in the locker room. Yeah! Oh, baby, yeah! Keep fucking rubbing her clit. Yeah, look at him go. Yes! It's vomit-inducing, especially considering that the majority of the TikTok user base is children. And then he finishes the video by, like, grabbing and squeezing what he's simulating is supposed to be a vagina. So he's basically just fucking, like, grabbing on it like he's trying to start a lawnmower. He's like fucking trying to pop a balloon in his hand. Like, it's so disturbing, like, the whole thing. And he's not the only one. There was quite a few videos I saw just like this. I don't really get it. Maybe I'm just getting older. But how would any woman see this and be like, damn, I gotta hit this guy up. He look at the way he's massaging his spit into that blanket. That could be my pussy right now. Oh my god. He could be massaging my pisser, and it'd feel this amazing like what I'm watching in this TikTok video. This guy's truly an expert. A sexual wizard. A pleasure wizard. From what I can tell, this trend is supposed to prove that you have sex. Like, hey, no, look, I fuck, and I'm good at it. And then they have, like, whatever song's playing here, Arctic Monkeys or whatever is going on, I don't know the song. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, like, if I was to participate in this trend, I'd want to go, like, full-blown Alpha Chad Thundercock status. Like, I not only know how to massage one pussy, but 50. So I'd have, like, some inspirational music playing, you know, like maybe Scatman or something, and I'm just going all over the place. Fucking southpaw on him, maybe get, like, the Zoidberg going. Just simulating rubbing over 1,000 clits around me. And then maybe I'd be considered the most sexual man on TikTok. Which, when said out loud, sounds like a crime, actually. The thing is, this whole trend is so disturbing as a viewer. Like, how is this content that anyone would leave a like on? But what's crazier is I saw so many people trying to duet with this video in particular, so there were so many people moved by it and turned on by it that they wanted to respond to it and, like, fainting, oh. It's wild. TikTok is truly an absolutely baffling cesspool sometimes. Why? Just why? My fucking day is ruined now. Dude hits a swan dive into a cunnilingus true combo. That's like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater line right there. I mean, good for him. You know, connecting all of those tricks together. And he sticks his tongue out and his tongue is like 20 feet long. Which I think is supposed to be like a turn on for the women that we're watching. But I just feel like it'd be more of a detriment than anything. Because if this man goes to eat some vagina, he's also going to be eating butthole by accident. Like, his tongue is going to wrap around her like a G-string. It's going to be like tentacle porn, but with a tongue. So I don't think it's, like, necessarily the best thing in the world to have a tongue this long. Especially not for him in particular, because when you're going to administer the doctor-recommended dose of vaginal eating, you'll just get a taste of ass, too. It's like, oh, God, babe, why does your pussy taste like shit? It's like, well, you know why. Your tongue is fucking deep in my colon right now. How do you not realize that? But I don't even understand, like, this doesn't even show that you're good at sex, which I think the whole trend is supposed to. Because who the fuck is like, hey babe, you ready to bang? You ready to make a bedroom ham sandwich? Alright, here I come. And you do like a cannonball onto the bed, and then you just start like. But yeah, I just wanted to show these two videos from the trend here because I had to watch them, so I thought it was only right that you also had to experience this with me. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. When you think of a school prank, like an officially licensed, endorsed school prank from the school to the students, you think of some lame shit like, oh, your backpacks aren't allowed in the hallway today. Just kidding, you can keep them there. Oh, you're getting out of class 5 minutes early today. Just kidding, big prank. You're actually staying late. We're doubling homework and slashing all your tires. You think of trivial, dumb pranks, like, you know, the fellow kids shit, like, does anyone else Big Chungus? Signed, the principal. Bad pranks. But Where there's one school a few years back that pulled the ultimate prank that makes every other prankster in the world look like fucking amateur limp-dick losers in comparison. The prank was, for their pep rally, it was a high school, they invited a select group of students to the basketball court, they blindfolded them, and then they were made out with. The students were under the impression they were making out with another student in their class, but it turns out they were making out with their parents, their actual mommy and daddies. The most shocking thing about this video isn't the incest, it's the fact that Tom Brady wasn't there making out with his kids. I thought for sure he'd take any opportunity to make out with them on camera. But now when I saw this initially, it was like a few years ago, and I thought for sure it was fake. You know, that wasn't actually their parents. It was just designed to be a shock viral video. And I didn't think anything of it until a couple hours ago. I was looking for douche tuber trends, and one of the pranks they're doing is kissing their parents. And the related video was the news report about this pep rally incident, and it turns out it's completely real. This school actually endorsed incest and had the parents make out with the students on the basketball court. Let's go ahead and play the news clip.
To be fair, this was supposed to be a joke. But when it went viral on YouTube, some people didn't find it the least bit funny.
As principal, I'm responsible for everything that happens in the school, so ultimately I'm the person who, needs to answer for this.
Man can't even help but crack a smile during the interview. That is not the face of remorse. That is a man who is content with his giant evil plan of incest. He was the Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster was sin, pure incest sin. I can already see how this came about, The pep rally planners came to the principal pitching their ideas. He's like, yeah, good shit, yeah, sounds great. But how about for a grand finale, we have some parents make out with their children on the basketball court, huh? Incest, it's a good joke. Now that's comedy, ha. Now, dropping the sarcasm, comedy comes in all shapes and sizes and all forms. I don't think incest is a great form of comedy. I think the best form of comedy is found at my Twitch streams at twitch.tv/moistcritical. You should all go follow right now. I'll be live when this video goes up. Fuck yeah, would love to see you there. You don't have to kiss your parents, but you can come kiss me.
Last Thursday, there was a pep assembly at Rosemount High School. Staff at the school planned a prank for the winter sports team captains. Each of them was blindfolded and kissed. The idea being the student think the kisser was another student, and then guess who it was. But the joke was, the mystery kisser was that student's mom or dad. It was a gag that ultimately went awry.
What does she mean the joke went awry? The joke went exactly as planned. The principal was jerking off in the bleachers while it was going on. I mean, this is exactly how they drew it up. There was no malfunction. There wasn't like a miscommunication. This is exactly what happened. The parents wanted to come make out with their kids. It's very disturbing how down the parents were to just make out with their kids. This didn't happen in Alabama, surprisingly. This was in Minnesota. But I really just don't get what the reporter's angle. She's like, yeah, it was supposed to be a joke. It went awry. What do you mean? What went wrong here? And the joke was always kids making out with their mom and dad. It's a horrible joke. It's not a joke. It's a crime. It's literally illegal. I'm surprised this Congo line of incest didn't lead to summoning Lucifer, because this is such a huge amount of sin in a small area that it's goddamn unholy. But I don't understand why the news anchor is trying to make it so sympathetic, like, damn, they had such a clean, good joke in mind for their students, but unfortunately, something went wrong.
For all the people who were offended, they're genuinely offended, and I owe them an apology.
Why people were so put off possibly has a bit to do with context.
Nope. I think what most people were put off by was the incest. I don't think it had anything to do with context or the storyline here, but I'm no certified news anchor, so what do I know?
What some are upset about is what they saw in this 59-second YouTube clip, which, according to Principal Wallersheim, isn't 100% indicative of what happened at the assembly.
What you see on the internet, sometimes you see just portions of what's really happened.
Honestly, the principal makes a pretty good point here. We're only peeking in on the making out with the parents portion. I'm sure we already missed all of the other great pranks they had before this one at the pep rally, such as blindfolded anal with a mysterious stranger who turns out to be the parents. cunnilingus blindfolded on a stranger who turns out to be the parents. I'm sure there was a lot of great pranks the principal pulled on the students that we just didn't get a chance to see, so we're only judging based on a small portion.
And it can lead you to think a certain way.
But he isn't making that an excuse, he says. His main point is to apologize, plain and simple.
This is supposed to be a fun event, and it should leave everyone feeling pepped. And if it's leaving people not feeling good or embarrassed or hurt, then that's absolutely the opposite of what we're trying to do.
I don't know about you guys, but nothing gets me more pepped, hyped up, and ready for, fun like making out with parents. Yeehaw, baby. Man, what a banger of a prank right there. You douche tubers have got your work cut out for you to reach this principal's level of expertise when it comes to pranks. That shit is gnarly. Wow. Yeah, that's it. So yeah. One of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt, got married a little over a month ago, and it was a beautiful ceremony, magical, like something out of a fairy tale. And yesterday, this same Matthew from the riveting story I was just telling about the wedding sent me an interesting video that is truly horrific. The cringe is unbearable, but it's actually a video I saw a long time ago and completely forgot about, as if I was neuralized to remove all the memories of it because it was so painfully cringe.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I've known Tracy for, oh god, I think so. So I started the North Store in 2013. Yeah. So I don't quite know Anthony that well, but Tracy talked about you like nonstop. Seriously.
It already gets off to a thrilling start here with her doing an internal abacus in her head to calculate how long she's known the bride. And it ends with her saying basically nothing except, I don't really know him that well. That's sure to energize the crowd. I have no doubt everyone's on the edge of their seat right now. She's got us in a fucking titty twister here of excitement with this one that she's building up to. So it's pretty clear she's been drinking. She obviously didn't prepare any kind of speech, even though I'm pretty sure at most weddings you're told ahead of time if you're going to be someone giving a speech, or maybe at this one they open the floor up to anyone that wants to give a speech, I'm not sure. But the way that it worked at Matt's wedding is it was pre-established who was giving speeches. I wasn't one of them. I really think having me give a speech at an emotional event would really ruin the mood. Not because I'd say anything foul, like I wouldn't go on some kind of spiel about marriage being a scam and ruin the atmosphere, but I just feel like the way that I speak doesn't lend itself super well to an emotional scene where people are crying over how sweet everything is. I'd get up there with the mic and just be like, yeah, so I've known Matt since middle school, and him and Monique make a really good couple. They're a really strong team, like Connor and Abby from Kubik's Robots for Everyone. Highly underrated show. But anyway, this has been a fantastic hootenanny. Really wonderful. Yeah.
And she'd be like, I mean, you do that. I'm like, I don't care. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. You guys are so cute together. I swear to God, you guys are hope. The longest, seriously. Till death do us part, Anthony. Seriously. You better take care of my girl. Because if you don't, I know where you live.
The side-splitting comedy routine here from her Netflix special is slaying. She's absolutely cooking up there, and the crowd is loving it.
Just kidding. But yeah, you guys are so cute. You're part of the family. I swear to God, I'm not gonna be racist, you guys. I'm just saying, okay?
Oh, thank heavens. I was worried she was going to get racist for a moment. Luckily, she clarified to everyone in the room that she is not going to get racist. We can wipe the sweat from our forehead now. Shannon has made it very clear she's not going to be racist. So, that's good.
I'm gonna be racist, okay? No, just kidding.
Luckily, she wasn't racist, so huge applause for her. She's doing a great job. Her speech is like one run-on sentence that just refuses to end. It's just like this thought in her head that she can't quite articulate, and it leads to nothing. It's like if you're playing the maze game on a back of a cereal box, but you just keep hitting every single wall and never make it to the end. There is no point to anything she's saying.
Of course, you guys are gonna get the interracial couples. Oh my God. No, seriously. You guys are outstepping the stereotype, and I love it. adore. But you guys, I swear, I love Black people because you guys are the best. Like, my own daughter's great aunt is like the best woman. And so it's just like, I swear to God. And you guys are amazing. I love you. I love you guys. Bless you. I love you.
Good luck to anyone at the wedding trying to follow up that banger of a speech. She crushed it. She was spamming the words "just kidding" during that speech like she was playing League of Legends with a missing enemy ping. She, maybe needed to rehearse a little bit. Like, maybe just write a couple things down. Like, maybe just bullet points on her phone, even. Pretty much anything besides what she did there. I do think it is an excruciatingly painful thing to sit through. When I watched this again, like when Matt sent it to me, I, for the first time in a long time, actually put my head in my hands like this, listening to it, because I couldn't look. It's one of those things that it's hard to keep your eyes on it. It's such a disaster of a speech. And it's not like she was saying anything at all. It was actually a bunch of fucking mumbo-jumbo. It would have been less agonizing if she went up there and just started doing armpit fart noises into the mic. Like, anything besides this, really. So if any of you have a wedding coming up and you're nervous about your speech, don't worry, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad, I don't think. But now I want to briefly talk about Matt's wedding, because now I have an excuse to. I don't think I ever talked about it in a video. I talked about it on stream a couple times when people asked, but as I mentioned, it was like a great event and everything. But I had ordered my outfit like 5 or 6 months ago, and if you've been to the streams, you'll know that I've been recently working on putting on a lot more muscle. So I've gained like 10, 15 pounds over the last couple of months, like maybe like 2 or 3 months. And so when all my clothes got here, I didn't even bother to try them on. I just assumed they would still fit. Big mistake. Fast forward to wedding day and I'm putting these clothes on for the first time. They do not fit at all. I put on the dress shirt that goes under the blazer, and that thing was like an actual fucking straitjacket on me. I couldn't actually do the top 2 buttons, so what I ended up having to do, because if I tried to, it would actually suffocate me and I'd probably die. I would go up to the altar where Matt and Monique were getting married, and I would actually pass out with the other groomsmen having to like catch me and fan me. I probably wouldn't have made it out alive. So I had to I couldn't do those buttons, so I had to keep them open, and I had to hide it with my tie because I looked like such a fucking stupid idiot. And then I tried to put the blazer on, or the jacket, whatever. It shows how much I dress up. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's a blazer, but like the actual, like the man stuff, like the coat, whatever it is. So I put that on, and that shit restricts my movement and had my upper body moving at like 2 FPS. So like when I was walking up to like the other groomsmen, it looked like something out of PlayStation 1 with the way I was moving around with my upper body. And the pants were an absolute catastrophe. Me trying to wiggle my butt cheeks into those pants was unholy, and I don't think I've ever done something so physically taxing. Like, me getting dressed was, like, I was sweating like I was competing in a combat sport. When I do finally slide into those bad boys, I realize a huge problem. I can't button them. I was able to zip them up, which was no easy task either. That zipper was fighting for its life. But I couldn't button them. If I had gotten that button to like actually lock, I would have blown up like a character in The Boys with like my intestines flying out of my mouth and gore all over the place. I wouldn't have made it. So what I ended up doing is I took the button flap, because the dress pants have like that little flap that hides the actual button itself. I took that and I just cinched it across, so that way it kind of looked like it was buttoned, so no one could really tell. At least no one pointed it out, but maybe they're just being nice, because the pants were still kind of like wide open at the top like that. You could see that it wasn't buttoned, I imagine, if you actually looked close enough, but it was my only option. Anyway, the wedding was wonderful. Luckily I didn't have like a ripped pants SpongeBob moment to be the biggest loser on the beach. We survived it. And I just wanted, I wanted to at least mention it here. I finally had an excuse to talk about Matt's wedding a little bit, because I was fighting a battle out there. I went to war. Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah, terrible wedding speech. Worst I've ever heard. That's it. See ya. I saw a video today that made me emotional. It's a couple giving their wedding vows, and it's not often I'll see a video like this and just be moved to tears, but This one was really pulling on the heartstrings, and, well, I just thought it was an important video to showcase here to prove that true love does still exist. I know there's some of you out there that have stopped believing in love, but this one might reignite your faith. This is two hearts coming together like magnets and forming an unbreakable, covalent bond. A James Bond.
Then as time went on and I was falling deeper in love with you, I was and always will be one of the easiest people to please. Only two things are required to keep me happy: keep my belly full and my balls empty. Though you're amazing at half of it, we really need to get you some cooking lessons.
And they say chivalry is dead and romance is kaput. So, the wedding vows start pretty aggressive here, talking about some ball draining, and it only gets more graphic and 50 Shades of Grey-esque. So these are the wedding vows between this newlywed couple, and his vows are basically just an erotica fanfic about his partner. And this is delivered in front of not only his family, her family, but in front of God too, who's probably weeping and feeling very embarrassed that this was allowed to transpire on his earth. It's pretty yucky, but they seem to be having a good time. I don't know how their families feel about having to listen to this guy talk about his daughter is basically just a fucking fleshlight for himself. Off-rip going into like, hey, your new job as my wife, your duties to me are to get better at cooking and drain my balls like Steph Curry drains threes.
Even when my belly isn't full, there is no one I could ever love more in this lifetime, unless I actually get a chance to meet Margot Robbie.
The way he's presenting his vows is also a little uncomfortable. Not only the subject matter about it being almost entirely sexual based, but also it's because he's reading it from his cards here, like his book report almost. It's like he just got called on in front of the class to read from a textbook, and he's a little nervous about it. So it's all kind of like very robotic, which makes it even more weird. But yeah, he's treating it like a stand-up comedy routine, and it's just, it's very uncomfortable because it's all about fucking. Now, before showing you the rest of these beautiful vows, I'd like to show you something else that's beautiful, and that's today's sponsor, Honkai Star Rail. Big thanks to Honkai Star Rail for sponsoring today's video. Honkai Star Rail is the newest free-to-play game from the creators of Genshin Impact, Hoyoverse. So you already know the art style and the characterization is going to be immaculate, absolutely spectacular and breathtaking. It's a free-to-play RPG experience with a focus on strategic combat. So there's a lot of different ways of approaching the combat, a lot of different strategies you can employ to suit your own personal playstyle. So you can shift enemies around environments and characters and upgrade them to suit the way that you want to approach the combat. And since you can freely explore the universe, you can also find different things that'll better suit your playstyle. And all of the combat just looks amazing because they knocked it out of the park with the art direction, so it's all just beautiful visual effects from orbital cannons to ice walls. It's also cross-platform, it supports cross-platform play, so you can install it on mobile and PC and have the game data shared between them. So if you're interested in trying Honkai Star Rail, you can click the link in the description below to get started on your adventure. Big thanks again to Honkai Star Rail for sponsoring the video.
Well, today I'm taking a step further and giving you my last name, the last name of champions. No one deserves it more. With you and the girls by my side, I feel like I can conquer anything. Y'all make life worth living, giving every breath of every day a purpose. Life gets even better when the kids fall asleep and you tell me to come to the bedroom. Nothing's better than the sound of gagging and headboard slamming.
Michael.
He went a good 20 seconds of actually delivering heartfelt, meaningful statements in his vows, like very sweet sentiments, and then immediately into gagging and headboard slamming. Hell yeah, brother. And then that was his mom up there that said Michael, as if she was about to go over there and discipline him, like pull on his ear or wash his mouth out with soap. Now, watching this is actually very interesting because it's so sweet. And I've always seen a lot of these wedding videos go kind of south where like one of the best men or whatever delivers a really cringe speech. Luckily that's not the case here. No cringe to be had on this holy day. But I imagine flopping at either your own wedding or your best friend's wedding with a turbo dogshit speech is one of the worst feelings on the planet. Now, many of you know my buddy Matt, recently proposed to his longtime girlfriend, and he wanted to do something special for the proposal, which was he had all of their friends submit short videos talking about how great of a couple they are and all of that. Just a very nice gesture, and he was going to compile all of those short videos into a longer, big video that he was going to surprise her with at a movie theater that they were planning on going to for a movie. It was a very cute idea, and I was included in this mega mix, and I'll go ahead and show you the video I submitted because I think I absolutely fucking crushed it. Hey, my name is Charles White. It is December 8th, 2022. That is 2022 years since the death of Christ. God rest his soul. I've been informed by a close friend of mine named Matthew Phillips that he is proposing to his longtime girlfriend Monique. So I want to say good luck and congratulations. It doesn't get better than that. Honestly, this looks like something out of a horror film. It was late into the evening and I wanted to get the video to him on time before deadline. And well, that's what we landed on. I originally wanted this to be like a 10-minute TED Talk video that I would submit and force Monique and Matt to sit through the entire speech. It was going to be all about how marriage is actually a tool that was developed in Area 51 in order to mind control the populace. But I decided I'll show mercy and just do a quick 20-second blurb. But anyway, the reason I'm showing this is because Matt and his longtime girlfriend are getting married, and at the wedding, I don't know if I'm supposed to give a speech or not, but if I am, I can only pray that I'm able to give something as inspired as the speech you're seeing from this guy right here.
Everyone keeps telling me that marriage is going to ruin a lot of things, but I feel that's only if you let it. You will forever have my heart, and that's a promise till death do we part. P.S. Since you're so good at making decisions like marrying me, you can choose whether tonight's going to end with being a toaster, strudel, or a Twinkie.
If that doesn't make you blush and melt your heart, then you just don't have a soul, partner. Because, wow, that is some silver-tongued Casanova class right there. So, in case you don't understand, if you're some kind of stupid fucking swine, a toaster strudel is referring to after they fuck. He'd pull out and ejaculate onto her tummy, make it maybe in like, you know, little glaze waves, kind of like a toaster strudel, or a Twinkie, where he cream pies her, basically. He just fucking ejaculates inside. So that's what he's saying at the end of the vows here.
Alrighty. I'm speechless.
You're so
Really? Being that I am his mom, I will deal with him later. He is grounded. By all means.
Shout out to his mom. She's taking this very uncomfortable situation like an absolute fucking champion. What a good sport here. She's like trying to dissipate all of the cringe in the atmosphere here as best as she can to diffuse it. And there's only so much you can do, really. But the two of them seem happy, and I guess that's all that matters. But I really just have to say, why do this in front of all of the family members of not only you, but her? It's literally just kind of saying in front of all of them that the main thing you care about with her as your partner is sex and not much else. There's a couple of moments, like glimmers of hope, where he does say heartfelt things, like very sweet things, but it's ephemeral. It's immediately overshadowed by going into headboard slamming, gagging, ball draining, nutsack draining, fucking cream pies and all of that. So I just feel like it probably wasn't the time or place for this routine here. Just seems a little trashy, especially because I'm pretty sure their kids are also there, as well as like obviously other kids of the families there having to listen to this really uncomfortable shit. So just kind of awkward, honestly, at the end of the day. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's about it. See ya. When it comes to sad, pathetic things on the internet, I feel like I've seen it all. I'm like the Oracle from the Matrix. Nothing surprises me anymore. Yet, today I bore witness to something so tragically embarrassing on Twitch that it's making me reflect, and it's put me in a very somber state. I feel as though I'm at a funeral service, A streamer invited one of her mods to hang out with her in real life, and then did a stream that was an hour and 25 minutes of agonizing, miserable, inhumane torture. Waterboarding would have felt more pleasant for this mod, I imagine. She spends the entire stream basically just insulting him. He is the butt of every one of her jokes, and she kind of just reduces him to a spittoon for her and her chat to spit in and make fun of. Now, I think punching bags get treated with more respect than this guy did, and it only got worse the longer the stream went on. She had a donation goal where if the stream gave her $500, she would kiss him.
Oh god, fuck.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, one more shot, guys.
Dang.
If you ever want to get drunk really fast, just have to kiss Dilly. You'll be fucked up by the time the night's over.
That is soul-crushingly mean-spirited. That is downright diabolical. Saying if you want to get drunk, just try and kiss Dilly, you'll be fucked up by the end of the night. Saying that you have to be hammered to want to kiss this guy. And this is the attitude for the entire stream, so she makes it pretty clear that she can't really stand to be around him unless she is extraordinarily drunk, so the whole time she is drinking throughout the stream. They reach the donation goal, so now she's obligated to give him a little smooch.
Can't do it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Can you come closer?
Like this close? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Can you pucker up? Pucker up.
This is I have small lips.
You just snotted on me. You just snotted on me.
This is my allergy.
You went, the little snots went on my leg.
It did?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
All right, come on.
Okay.
If I was watching a hostage video where someone had kidnapped my grandmother, threatening to slit her throat unless I paid the ransom, I would honestly find that video to be less cruel and more humane than this Twitch stream I just watched. This is absolutely brutal. My heart breaks for this guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he's done to deserve this, but this is like a divine punishment here. This whole thing was her idea. This was her donation incentive. And now she's acting like it was the worst thing that ever happened to her. It's so bad, she's got to go rinse her mouth out. She's got to fucking brush her teeth and scrub it all down with soap and bleach just to try and erase the stain that his lips put upon hers. It's just evil. This whole stream is her basically just bullying this guy.
Well. Jesus Christ. Well. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm back, guys. Sorry. I'm good. I'm good.
She's putting on this big song and dance about how gross and disgusting this was, when it was her idea. She's doing this just to make him feel even worse, and put on a show for her chat at this guy's expense. Like, oh, this loveless loser virgin flew all the way here, and oh, I just had to kiss him. Like, that's so mean. And this should be a wake-up call to her chat that, like, donates money to her under this idea that she's going to like them or something like that, or parasocially donating to her because they think that they're going to be friends or even more than that. This should be the biggest wake-up call. Your third eye should be fucking beaming from your forehead right now with this out there. This is her mod, someone who literally, like, does a ton for her. And this is how he's getting treated in front of everybody. That's what she thinks of you as well. Now, like I said, it's not just this viral moment here. The very beginning of the stream comes out fucking guns blazing, going hog wild about this guy having no shot with her and that she doesn't even really respect him at all.
Yeah, Dilly's living the dream. Aren't you so happy to be here?
Yeah. It's my dream, y'all.
Yeah, I've been posting pictures of Dilly every single day on Discord, and this guy cannot hang. Dilly's eyes are fucked. It's because I have cats and he's allergic, and he has allergy medicine. Doesn't he look like Gru from Despicable Me? Sorry, every time I see Dilly, I just start laughing.
This is the very beginning of the stream. This is chapter 1. It's not even chapter 1. This is the prologue. And she immediately comes out of the gate saying that he looks like Gru from Despicable Me, and she can't help but laugh when she sees him. The stream doesn't even make it 5 full minutes without her making sure to insult him in front of everybody. He's just getting publicly flogged immediately. She is flaying him alive throughout most of the stream. Again, this whole hour and 25 minutes is basically just make fun of Dilly and let the chat make fun of Dilly too. It's so mean-spirited. And this guy, again, I don't know anything about him. He wasn't even creepy or weird or awkward. He seemed like just a very normal guy. He even seems pretty nice and really not weird. Yes, he does come across as like a little lonely and a little socially shy, but there's no like red flags or anything alarming about this guy at all. This must have been hell on earth for him to not only get invited out by the person that he clearly cares about since he mods for her, but to go there and then just be perpetually insulted directly by that person and the community that you mod for, having all these tomatoes thrown at you throughout the whole thing. And on top of all of that, be surrounded by cats which trigger his allergies. The misery must have been indescribable. Like, I'm getting parasocial with it because I actually just really do feel bad for him here. Like, brother, come on. Have some more self-respect. Have some more confidence. You deserve it. You deserve better than this treatment here. That was just so mean. Now, I already know the cope. I know what the excuse is going to be. Oh, she's clearly just pushing his buttons. They're just joshing around. They're very close friends, obviously. But I don't get that impression at all. These aren't jokes I would tell to even my best friend Matt, who I've known since middle school. A lot of what she says to and about Dilly is just downright nasty. I would never say to Matt, like, the only reason, you know, your wife ever kissed you is because she must have been blackout drunk and forgot what you looked like or something. That's just so fucked up. And, like, she makes statements like that pretty often throughout this stream. These aren't really jokes. She is just insulting this guy as much as possible to make him a laughingstock for her stream.
Cute couple, baby, are not dating. I did not claim this. Sorry, that's so mean, but don't claim it. So yeah, 1 hour stream, so every minute counts. I made a donation goal of $500. I will kiss Dilly. So we hit it, but hopefully I will be drunk for that. Let's take the first shot of the night, yeah? Is it too early?
No. Cheers.
The way she responded to the cute couple statement seemed like she was genuinely offended anyone would even say something like that. Now keep in mind, she's still sober right here, so this is still her insulting him with the training wheels on. She hasn't even taken the gloves off yet. It gets really bad shortly after.
I made all the boys go at Dilly to help change his pants, so I think Dilly threw away his chunky throat pants in the trash. Dilly had the same size hands.
No,
oh my god, you have baby hands.
No way.
Yeah, we have the same size hands. That means you have a small dick.
The astute observers out there will have noticed that I put the stream to 2x speed during her story times, and I'll openly admit to it. The reason is because it was genuinely painful listening to her tell those stories because it's just shitting on Dilly. She's putting him on blast as frequently as possible, sharing his most embarrassing moments, so giving his lowlights. Here's the worst of moments with Dilly. Here's what Dilly did that was so embarrassing last night. You guys need to hear this. It's just, again, so unnecessarily mean. And then, of course, she has to do something about penis size, so she says, we have the same size hands, which means you have a tiny dick. Your hands aren't even the same size. His hands are visibly bigger than yours, but again, this is just being rude for the sake of it. Nobody is meaner to tier 3 subs or Twitch mods than the streamer themselves, it seems. She is so much nastier to her mod than anyone on Twitter has ever been to any mod for any streamer ever. Now, there are a couple times in the stream that she says that they're good friends, so it's all, you know, in good fun. And what a load of dirty barnacles. I think she says that to try and convince Dilly, and Dilly, he believes it. Dilly's bought into that fantasy. This does not strike me as two people that are friends. This strikes me as her using him for content, as a punching bag. That's what this all seems like. No friend dynamic is like this. No friendship goes like this. Of course you're going to joke around with your friends, you're going to get mean with your friends, but at the end of the day, you're close, and you know that there's no actual bad blood or malicious intent there. I do not get that vibe from this interaction at all, because it is unrelenting for an hour and 25 minutes, and what I'm about to show you here, I think is the most foul thing that she said throughout it.
Oh my god, so either go back with my ex, or get with Dilly for 6 months. Fuck! Okay, so in case you guys know, or don't know, I don't want to say his name out loud. This ex fucking traumatized me, get a gambling addiction, drug addiction, porn addiction, like he actually fucked me up, okay? So either go through like trauma and emotional abuse, or date Dilly for 6 months. Trying to get back with my ex. Okay, next question. Is it true that
It's in 2x speed because, again, she was going on a montage of degrading him. And then it got to that question. Would you rather get back with your ex, who apparently traumatized her, or date Dilly for 6 months? And she chooses her ex, and then just laughs it off. She would rather be in, I guess, this emotionally abusive situation that she called it, and be traumatized, than be with Dilly for 6 months. Why would you even answer this question in the first place? That is so fucked up. I was stunned when that came around. Like, she knows Dilly is clearly interested in her romantically, and yet she uses that as the butt of the jokes. Like, half of the stream is making it clear that she feels she is so out of his league, so superior to him, that the comedy is that people would even suggest there's a chance. So this question rolls around, and she's like, oh yeah, I'd definitely just go back with the ex. Definitely wouldn't go back, or go with Dilly for 6 months. I'd rather be emotionally abused than spend time with this guy. In front of his face, too. The guy who basically does work for you on your streams by modding, who has also now gone out of his way to hang out with you in real life and on your stream for your content. And now he has to sit there and hear that you would rather be emotionally abused and traumatized than date him for 6 months. This guy who obviously cares about you. I can't even imagine what a statement like that must feel like to hear. And he has to keep himself composed because she's broadcasting all of this to her audience publicly. I've never met anyone that I've had any kind of relationship with, a friend or even an acquaintance, that has said something that even teeters on as mean as what she just did right there. And she did it right to the face of someone who very clearly cares a lot about her. Now, she laughs it off and moves on to the next question, and I think Dilly has been brainwashed by her into thinking that he's a good friend of hers. But Dilly, I'm just going to hit you with the cold water. Friends don't treat each other this way. She is treating you like a subhuman pile of garbage.
Me personally, I would not hit. So, yeah, there is a right or wrong answer. Well, me personally... How about you rate me first?
10 out of 10.
Oh, fuck, you know, I'm not gonna rate. I'm just gonna drink.
That means I'm a 6. It's okay.
If it was a 6, I would have said that out loud.
Oh.
Anyways.
Again, it's just an absolute flurry of disrespect from her towards Dilly. But I wanted to show this clip here at the end because I think this is a great summation of how this whole experience went, where he rates her a 10 out of 10, and then she refuses to rate him, so he playfully is like, oh, okay, that must mean like I'm a 6. And then she didn't have to say anything. She could have just moved on to the next question, but she went out of her way to let him know that that's not the case. So she says, if it was a 6, I would have said it out loud. Anyway, just trying to take another little stab, drive the dagger deep inside of his heart here to let him know that he is beneath her. He's not a 6 to her, and he needs to know it. It's so unnecessarily mean. It's just being an asshole and nothing more. She puts him down every chance she can find. She attacks every single one of his perceived weaknesses in her eyes, and is doing everything in her power to publicly humiliate and degrade him. It is not friendly. There is nothing jovial about this whole stream at all. It is mean-spirited and just really fucking sad. Like I mentioned, there was a couple of times she tried to cushion the blows, like, oh, we're such good friends, this is all okay. And then when one of the questions during Truth or Drink is, what was your favorite thing about Dilly? She says that he's nice, and that he's like just super nice and not awkward. Those are the only couple of instances where she wasn't just shitting on him. And I think she did that because she could see from the chat that people were dogpiling onto Dilly, and it is just a really uncomfortable stream entirely.
How likely is it for him to pick up a girl tonight?
Can I answer this honestly?
Honestly, you're not getting shit. I think maybe a girl will be down to dance with you, you know?
That's a win.
But there's no way, I don't think you're getting any girls' numbers. Or going home with, I'm gonna say it's a 0 out of 10.
Well, obviously I wouldn't bring anyone back here, but...
I would let you. I'm a good friend. So if you want to bring a girl back here, you can. Wow. But I'm just being honest, I don't see it. Prove me wrong though, you know, prove me wrong.
I was perfectly content to not show you any more clips from the stream. I was just about to end the video, but then I remembered this moment, and I just had to showcase it. Even if it's not directly about her, she won't even let him think he has a chance with any girl, for that matter. None. Like he's not even allowed to go into the club with a good mindset. They're going to a club later this evening, and they were getting hype for it. Like, chat was asking, hey, do you think he has a chance with a girl? And this was her response to it. He's not even allowed to have a good mentality going into it because she's already shitting on him beforehand to bring his self-esteem down. It's just bullying. Like, she is just a bully to this guy. It just doesn't end. He's not allowed to breathe for a second, A, because of the allergies that he's subjected to, but B, because she is constantly this miasma of hate to him. Like, it's just so negative. If this was actually any semblance of a friend, she would have lifted him up like, yeah, you're gonna get some pussy tonight, let's go, let's have a good time out there tonight. That's not what she's doing. She's immediately putting him down. Again, for the millionth time this stream.
Who's better looking, Dilly or your ex? My ex. Next question. Do you ever have any feelings for any of your mods, including him? Hell no, that's why they're my mods.
Last clip from this stream, I promise, but I thought this was an important one. I have for a long time preached about how awful parasocial relationships are and how prevalent it is in streaming. I think hearing her say this should have snapped a ton of people out of that mentality that just by donating to somebody or modding for somebody in this case, that all of a sudden they're going to somehow develop feelings for you or something. Doesn't happen. It won't happen. And that is not a healthy mindset for you as a viewer to be in. I wanted to put this here because she just says it with her whole chest right in front of Dilly. Again, per usual here for this stream. But this is actually an important lesson to learn. Just because you mod for somebody or donate to somebody, if you're a tier 3 sub to somebody, if you've been sub to somebody for years, they are not all of a sudden your best friend, and they are not obligated to fall in love with you or have feelings for you. So, tough pill to swallow for some, I'm sure, but it needs to get through. Now, all that being said, what Dilly was subjected to here is nothing shy of heinous. Nobody deserves this level of public humiliation, and I feel extremely bad for him, and I'm just genuinely wishing him the best going forward. I just had to talk about this because it is one of the downright meanest and saddest streams I've ever seen on Twitch. Like, probably ever, I think. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. A few nights ago on stream, I watched a little bit of a video called I Got Divorced Over Yu-Gi-Oh! And I went into it, like lollipop and spinny hat, thinking it was going to be like good, silly fun. Like I thought it was like an exaggeratory title where he was telling a story about how his wife walked in like Seto Kaiba and ripped his blue eyes. And then he said, enough is enough. We'll play a shadow game to decide the fate of our marriage. And then they divorced or something. But the reality is, it's a very honest and open look at an unhealthy relationship, and it's one that I went back and finished the video for and have been thinking about since. So in a nutshell, this guy had a YouTube channel that was dedicated to Yu-Gi-Oh! And he was actually paying his bills through the content he was making. So it's not like this was a hobby that was destructive to him. He wasn't going out on the streets and selling his butt for Yu-Gi-Oh! Briefcases of cards. Like, he was making a living through Yu-Gi-Oh! And his YouTube channel, but his wife didn't really like it. She didn't have any respect for it, and it basically boiled down to he married like his number one hater. And she eventually wore him down enough to the point where he did abandon the hobby and his YouTube channel because she just thought it was kind of cringe, I guess. Like, I'm not saying in every healthy relationship your partner has to, get into whatever hobby you're into, but at the very least, the bare minimum is being understanding and supportive of it. Like, I'm not saying she had to go out there and get a tier 0 deck or learn how to pendulum summon so she could start banishing assholes to the Shadow Realm, but maybe don't be constantly spitting and shitting on your husband for something that he's clearly passionate about and something that is actively making him money. I got divorced over Yu-Gi-Oh!
I need to say this. Let me just say it straight out the way. I am no longer married, and I'm divorced.
More time for Yu-Gi-Oh! You can grind. YCS pretty soon, I think. Can't remember when the next YCS is. But you got so much time now.
When I met this woman, and I told her about my Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, she hated it. She didn't like it. She said that, hey, you could do something better with your life. You should go back to school.
Alright, I hate that. Man, just let someone have hobbies. Like, who cares? It's not hurting anyone, not hurting you. It's nerdy, sure, who cares? It's a hobby. I bet she had stupid hobbies too. Everyone does.
I said, you know what? Maybe she's right. And you know what I did? I sold all my equipment. I sold my YouTube channel.
Whoa.
I sold all my camera stuff. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. Maybe it's time for me to do something better with my life. Not knowing that at that time, what I had was very special. At that time, something that I chose to do, YouTube, I gave it up because someone said, hey, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. You got to do something better with your life.
There are times where someone's hobby is detrimental to them, whether it's financially draining or mentally draining. Like, that is a problem, and that's where you'd come in and say, like, hey, maybe it's time we look for something else, try a different path, and move on to something else. But that's not the case here. This guy had a channel, and his YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh hobby were helping sustain him and pay bills. So her coming in there, fee-fi-fo-fumming around, marching up to him, saying, like, you gotta move on, makes no fucking sense. Like, that's so stupid. Just basically saying it's time to grow up. You know, this is a children's card game. We don't do this as adults. It's time you be a real man, a real adult, and start doing crypto scams. Like, it's just silly.
And she's no longer here. And this problem persists. She told me at that time, hey, you want to meet my mother? You need a car. Because I didn't have a car at the time. I was doing YouTube. I was working from home. I didn't need to drive anywhere.
Chasing the dream.
Yes, YouTube is what I did for a living. It's how I paid my bills. And I was street performing also. How did I street perform? I just catch the bus 20 minutes down the street, played my horn, went home. I never needed a car. Even though I explained to her, this is what I chose to do.
Why did she even come into your life then? It sounds like she didn't respect your hobby. She didn't respect your drive, your passion, or anything. Why the fuck was she even here? Just to completely change you? That's sad. And there's definitely a limit too. Like, if you're obsessed with a hobby and it's actually a detriment on your life, which it doesn't sound like it was for him, then I can understand someone coming in and be like, all right, look, maybe we need to reevaluate this. You know, maybe, collecting fucking, I don't know, jelly beans and putting all your money into antique jelly beans is, taking its toll. Maybe we should look at other things so you can get out of the house. You can start, finding something else. I get it. But it doesn't sound like it was to that point here. This is just sad. I imagine the channel was generating income. He just said he was paying his bills through YouTube and street performing. So he was making money. He was perfectly sustaining himself. At least that's the impression I get. She was probably embarrassed to tell her friends what he does for a living. Well, then don't be with him. If you're embarrassed of your significant other, why are you with them in the first place? That's on you. If you don't respect them, don't be with them. It's bad for both you and the partner. I feel like this probably happens a lot, although I've only seen it happen to one of my friends once, where he got with a girl that just really didn't like anything about him. Well, what are you doing there? Why are you choosing to be with this person if the goal is to change everything about them, to turn them into a blank canvas for you to paint on? That this doesn't make sense. Find someone that's more compatible with the things you like at that point. Like in this case, she comes in and she just doesn't like any of it. You're going to flush Yu-Gi-Oh down the shitter. You're going to go back to school. Honestly, it sounds like a mom that's trying to discipline their kid. Like, all right, no more Xbox. We're unplugging the Xbox and you're going to go to school twice as much now. Somehow we're going to find extra school for you to go to. It's just so fucking toxic. This guy was doing just fine. He was providing for himself through his passion, through his ambition, his hobbies, but it didn't fit what she thought was acceptable. So she goes in there and tries to force him to do all of it, and unfortunately succeeds, where he does abandon his hobbies and his passion for her, for this relationship. And that just shouldn't have been a sacrifice that he was forced to make for the sake of the relationship. He didn't need to tribute summon his hobby in order to get his wife's appreciation for what she believes is an acceptable idea for an adult hobby. It was making money, it was paying his bills, and it's something he loved doing. Why change that? There's really no good argument I can think of for it. Sounds like she just hated Yu-Gi-Oh! She must have been more of a Digimon gal.
So, she hated those cards. She literally cried because of those cards. And people say, hey, priorities, man. It's your wife, or, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
You tell me your wife was crying about Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
But then I'll be back at that point where I'm giving up things that I like, things that's a part of my life for someone else to feel happy. And I feel miserable in the process. I love that. I miss that. Why can't she come along with my journey instead of scrutinizing me? And then that's money gone from me. It's not about the money, but that was money gone from me.
That was his career. Man, what a disaster. What a shame. Imagine your Yu-Gi-Oh passion being so epic it makes your wife cry. My husband has mastered the shadow games. Damn! Fuck! I'd want nothing more than my partner loving their job, man. I'd cry tears of joy. I imagine that's how it works in most healthy relationships, brother. I feel like it's kind of important to have, like, respect. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of basic. He triggered her trap card of divorce. Now, another thing I was thinking about when I went back and watched the whole video is that there is a time where a hobby becomes too consuming, where it starts straining the relationship. Like, maybe he was always fiddling around with those Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you know, by candlelight in like a dark room, and, you know, scratching at his neck for more Yu-Gi-Oh cards and ignoring his wife and letting the relationship start to crumble around him because it's always Yu-Gi-Oh all the time. But I don't think that was the case here. And you'll see why I think that in a moment, the more he explains about how it got to that point. And it's not all about Yu-Gi-Oh! He does talk about how a big part of his life has always been music and street performing, and even that wasn't acceptable to her or her parents, really.
I met the parents. They asked me, hey, what do you do for a living? I had to tell them I am a musician. I couldn't tell them I was a street musician. I am a musician. Then they said, hey, you have a degree? I said, I don't have a degree. My ex-wife parents did not speak to me for 2 years and told her not to marry me because I don't have a degree.
That's fucking brutal, and to me, it blows my little noodle because this guy was doing so fine on his own. He was paying all of his bills. He was living just fine with the money he was making through Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube content and street performing music. And he'll talk about it in a moment, he was making enough money where he could provide for both himself and his wife through those passions. Yet, they wanted him to just burn it all to the ground, fucking salt the earth, so he could restart with what they think is acceptable, which was going back to school to get a degree and getting a 9-to-5 job. Both things that he did do. Well, he got the 9-to-5 job and attempted school, but school wasn't working out super well for him. But he did everything for that relationship to try and make her happy and be like an acceptable partner in his ex-wife's parents' eyes.
So I give up this YouTube thing. I give up my entrepreneurial things. I try to do something that's not innately a part of my strengths at all because I'm thinking I'm in love to do something for somebody to prove something. So when we got married and we moved out to Baltimore to somewhere else that I didn't want to be, she said, hey, how come you're not paying the bills? And I was like, what? I have a job. I have a 9-to-5 job. I don't make enough from this 9-to-5 job to pay all these bills. Before then, I could street performing in YouTube. I made enough money off of that to pay the bills. Now I'm working 9-to-5 all day long, and that's not a complaint because there are people who do that. But I had something that most people wish they had.
He's right. He had the dream job. He literally had the wet dream most people wish they had, which is their hobby, their passion, being able to sustain them. So they don't have to do something that makes them miserable just to survive. And he says, like, he gave all of that up for her and this relationship, and that new shiny 9-to-5 that he got, all to please his wife because she believed that that was the only real way to grow up and, you know, move on from Yu-Gi-Oh! And street performing music, well, that 9 to 5 couldn't pay the bills for both of them. And that's the unfortunate reality of where America is right now. I've talked about this a lot. The normal salary you make at like a 9 to 5, you can't fucking live off of that in like a 2-person household. That just, it's impossible. Things are way too expensive, especially in certain locations. It's just not happening. It's an absolute shame. It's a fucking crime. I'm not going to just rant about that. I've done that plenty on stream. He had a job that could do that. Like, he had a job people kill over. And she just didn't like it. Found it cringe, I guess. Wasn't proud of his hobby and that job that was making him money. So forced is the wrong word, because he mentions as well, he made the choice. He ultimately chose to get rid of all of that for her, but she was pushing him to do it, and now he's miserable with this 9 to 5, and she's not happy because that 9 to 5 isn't able to pay all of the bills.
She says, hey, you need to find a hobby. I'm like, oh, let me play Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. So, last December, last year, I start my channel up again. I buy my channel back from Java. Like, oh, she gave me the okay to go into a hobby. You know what she said? You're spending too much time playing those cards. She says, why are you into those cards so much? I said, hey, I need to make a video about something.
After selling everything and starting over, he does eventually get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! To a certain extent, where he picks up the hobby again, but his wife still just hates that the hobby he picked up was Yu-Gi-Oh! And YouTube. So he goes on to say how she just really didn't like it. That's when he gets into saying how she would like actually cry over Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's where I was saying, like, if it was completely consuming his whole life, where he was ignoring her and everything in the relationship was starting to just dwindle because he was too preoccupied with Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'd understand it. But from what I'm seeing and like going back to his channel, it doesn't seem like that was really the case. He was talking about how since he'd been away from the game for an extended period of time, he needed to relearn it. He needed to catch up on all the new things with Yu-Gi-Oh! So he could make content around it. So he'd be able to be knowledgeable on it, which is perfectly understandable, I'd say. And it doesn't seem like he took it to an excessive degree. It's his passion, it's his hobby, it's what he wanted to do, and it's what he was doing, so he wanted to get back to it. He recognized just how much of a gift being able to do that and make money off of it was, and he wanted that back. So he was getting back into the hobby. She still really hated it. One thing led to another, and now they're no longer together. And it seems like the big reason is because of Yu-Gi-Oh! The deeper issue is that she had absolutely no respect for his passion, and she wasn't supportive and seemed like was embarrassed of him. So it's two people that should have never been together in the first place. He gave up everything he loved to try and make her happy, but she was never really happy with the man that he actually is. So it's just very incompatible, and they tried to make it work, and it didn't work. And both people, I think, were not happy as a result of the relationship. Hopefully going forward, they both find better partners. Hopefully this guy's starting over on his YouTube channel. Luckily, he was able to buy it back. Hopefully he is able to find that success that he once had. And yeah, just kind of wanted to talk about it because I just found it to be one of the more honest videos I've seen on the platform about a subject like this. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya.